How a US group with links to the far-right may have influenced a crackdown on Ghana's LGBTQ community. Tucked away in a neighborhood of Accra, off Aflao Road, a group of Ghanaian gay activists use the house to gather in secret and provide shelter to LGBTQ people in need. Sitting on the corner of a couch in the gloomy interior, Joe holds a small clutch in both hands and speaks with a quiet defiance. "I can't change the way I am. I can't change who I am," he says. "This is natural, and it is how I feel. But we are dead. We are all now dead. We can't go out again and we can't mingle with our friends again." It wasn't supposed to be like this in Ghana. For years, Ghanaian LGBTQ activists felt they had made progress. They witnessed a quiet tolerance, especially in larger cities, and believed that their rights would continue to evolve. The prospect of it passing is pushing the country's LGBTQ community into the shadows. LGBTQ Ghanaians have been left asking how things got so bad, so quickly, and Western diplomats say they have been caught by surprise. But what one Ghanaian activist calls a homophobe's dream bill has deep roots in Ghana's religious community. It also found key inspiration from a US ultra-conservative group with Russian ties.
Humiliated on camera one evening several months ago, Joe says he was accosted on the street by a group of men who accused him of approaching one of their male relatives. He says the men took him to an abandoned construction site for interrogation. "Yes," Joe replies meekly, shivering in the concrete room. Later in the clip, Joe is seen crouching on the ground as he is repeatedly kneed in the head by one of his attackers. When videos of Joe's ordeal were shared on social media several months later, he says his father threw him out of the family home. "When I saw the video, I was like, it is better to kill myself, but I had nowhere to go," he says. Although some are harassed and shamed publicly, these attitudes were not universal. Activists speak of regular LGBTQ-friendly parties held in Accra being advertised openly on social media. A Human Rights Watch report from 2018 found that Ghana had a mixed record in its treatment of LGBTQ Ghanaians. This year, that could all change. A door opens, then is shut. Multicolored balloons and rainbow umbrellas decorated Ghana's first LGBTQ support center, in Accra, for its grand opening in January. Diplomats from several European nations and Australia attended, and LGBTQ Ghanaians said they couldn't believe the progress Ghana had made. The backlash was immediate. Traditional leaders, church groups, and lawmakers flooded social media, rushed to local TV stations, and used their pulpits to excoriate the center, blaming its existence on Western influence and claiming it was an attempt to recruit young Ghanaians. Many of the critics are part of a loosely configured group known as the National Coalition for Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Values. "We knew that there would be opposition, but we didn't think it would be of this magnitude," says Alex Kofi Donker, director of LGBT and Rights Ghana, the group that opened the center. "The whole country seemed to be talking about it." The resulting public outcry led to a police raid, and the center was closed less than a month after it had opened. Soon afterward, plans for the draconian new anti-LGBTQ law began to emerge. The bill was introduced in Parliament in early August. Under the bill, advocates of the LGBTQ community would face up to a decade in prison, public displays of same-sex affection or cross-dressing could lead to a fine or jail time, and certain types of medical support would be made illegal. The new law would also make the distribution of material deemed pro-LGBTQ by news organization or websites illegal. It calls on Ghanaians to turn over those they suspect of being from the LGBTQ community. "It is against our culture, it is against our norms, it is against our tradition," says Emmanuel Kwasi-Bedzra, one of the members of Parliament whose name is on the bill. "We don't want things that are against our sensibility to be given priority in our society, and therefore this will be a deterrent to anyone who supports them." Standing outside Ghana's imposing Parliament complex as a bank of dark clouds threatens to break the intense heat, the MP says. "In the beginning of this year we had a group of people in the guise of an NGO trying to lure people into their fold. We noticed that it is spreading like wildfire in the country. We love them, we are asking them not to do it," Bedzra says as the cloud breaks, rain battering the giant black star of Ghana's flag outside of the Speaker's office. Just a short drive from Parliament, we meet a prominent gay activist at Accra's Black Star Square, where an arch commemorating Ghana's independence celebrates freedom and justice. Bediako, who runs the NGO Rightify Ghana, denounced the claim that homosexuality is a Western import or that LGBTQ activists were out to recruit and convert straight Ghanaians. The same people they claim to have brought homosexuality to Africa are the same people who told them to have this hate they are using against us, he says. There have always been queer Ghanaians. Bediako says the anti-LGBTQ Family Values Coalition has long been allowed presence in Ghana, but that it was never organised or particularly strategic. The US right-wing people were here, and after that there was a rush to push legislation, Bediako says. The conference was hosted by the World Congress of Families, which Human Rights Campaign, an LGBTQ and rights group, calls one of the most influential American organizations involved in the export of hate. The genesis of the law. The 2019 conference was largely organized in response to proposals by the Ghanaian government to create a comprehensive sex education curriculum to teach young people about the emotional, physical and social aspects of sexuality. This plan was later shelved. One of the highlights of the conference, for attendees, was the presence of US ultra-conservative organizer Brian Brown, the president of the World Congress of Families. Brown made a name for himself pushing Californians to outlaw same-sex marriage at the ballot. He continues to lead the National Organization for Marriage and heads up a digital fundraising effort for right-wing Republican Party candidates in the US. The WCF has curious beginnings. It was founded in the late 1990s as a collaboration between US religious conservatives and right-wing Russians, after the fall of the Soviet Union. But in recent years, in conferences from Hungary to Croatia, Tbilisi, Georgia, to Verona, Italy, the group has become increasingly influential in organizing anti-LGBTQ forces and inspiring policy initiatives, according to Neil Datta, Secretary of the European Parliamentary Forum on Sexual and Reproductive Rights.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe